Hi everybody, welcome to Poppin's Plans. Today I wanted to talk about some of my goals for 2025. First of all, I wanted to talk about a piece of Happy Mail that I received, and this came from Tess Lynn. I want to give away from her. She sent me a beautiful postcard in the back, and I received this sticker that I'm going to put on my binder. It's from Breakfast at Tiffany's, and it's Audrey Hepburn. I love it. I think it's a beautiful stamp. So I wanted to say thank you very much, and just to let you know that our postal system is up and running. Now, as far as 2025 goes, there's this channel that I came across, and it's called Love Notes with Kay. So I really can't take credit for this project. But I loved her concepts and I love the ideas. So if you wanted to go and check out her channel, that would be awesome. She calls it Project Me, and she spells it M-I-I. So I changed the sheet. I made one up on Canva and I changed it, and I wrote Project Me, M-E. So in this, these are some things that I wanted to talk about, wanted to address for 2025. The first category will be to connect. And when I say connect, I want to connect with family and I want to connect with loved ones. I want to be able to, call them up and talk to them, perhaps maybe, send them a quick little card, or, just a thinking of you. I think that's a wonderful way to show how much you love them and how much they mean to you in your life. I want to show kindness, and I also want to show appreciation. Appreciation to co-workers, appreciation to family, kindness to family, all these things that connect us as people. So I think that's a very important thing to think about. The next one is going to be my health. And when I thought about that, I thought it's important to listen to my body. And when I'm feeling pain somewhere, oftentimes you kind of just push through it and you keep going or whatever. But it's important to listen, because your body tells you, when you've done too much for the day, when you've done too much in an activity, whatever it is. And it's important to sort of take a look at that. Another thing I wanted to do is to take breaks. A lot of times, you get up and you already think about the things you have to do, and it's like a go. And so by the time you actually sit down, maybe have a coffee and your dinner, it's already 7 o'clock and you've just gone the whole day. So it's important to take breaks. It's important to hydrate, and it's also important to take vitamins or any medications that you may need to. The next thing I wanted to talk about and sort of look at this year is my emotions. Sometimes we can be so self-critical of ourselves and how we do things. So it's important to be self-compassionate with yourself, self-accepting of yourself, and self-caring of yourself. Another thing I wanted to talk about and think about is embracing challenges. Challenges come and go. It's part of our life. They're always going to be there. And how we look at them is very important. So I think to embrace a challenge is you're more apt to sort of work at it. Another thing I'd like to do is to laugh and have more fun this year. And then also it's very important for me to keep my faith. The next thing I wanted to think about was how could I improve things with myself. And I thought maybe identify what my strengths are. Too often times we look at how we're weak at something, or how we just don't measure up to other people's standards, or perhaps even our own standards. And it's important to sort of take a moment to identify our strengths. Also, improve skills and hobbies that I like to do, things I like to look at and things I like to try out. So I think that's important. Stress, a lot of times is another category in itself. It goes with health, but it's also an important thing to think about. And I think to combat stress, it's important to prioritize sleep. Sleep is very important. Declutter. Oftentimes, you buy things without thinking about it, and next thing you know, you have 2 or 3 items that, you could only really need to have one. So important thing to think about would be to declutter. And that also helps to have a more sense of a feeling of inspiration, or could possibly be a way of having your imagination spark on things. When you declutter, you don't have so much stuff around you. Maintain boundaries is very important. I think a lot of times, we sort of give too much of ourselves. So it's important to set boundaries and to maintain them. And also to stop overthinking things. Oftentimes you kind of feel like you're the little hamster on the wheel, and you think and think and think and go over the same situation, or the same, problem, or the same, stress that's in your life. And so sometimes we need to sort of stop overthinking on that, and just accept and make the changes that we need to. And finally, my financial goals. With my financial goals this year, I wanted to have maybe no spend days, or perhaps even a month, to continually budget, because budgeting is very important. It helps me to know where my funds are going and what I can do with those funds. Being a good steward, and budgeting is part of being a good steward. Continue to save for retirement. Give to charity, because that's very important. And also to actively learn new things about finance, about myself, whatever is of interest at that time in my day or life or whatever during the year. Now that also brings me to, what would my mindset be? So in Project Me, my mindset is going to be that I am capable and enough for so much that will happen. And I think that's a great way to think of it. And also, what am I eager about? That's the E part, is that I am eager to move into 2025 with a sense of a positive accomplishments, because I'm going to accomplish a lot this year. Now, the second part of my journey for 2025 is my financial goals. And in Matthew 6:33, I should say, it says that we should continue to seek the kingdom of God above all else, and to live righteously. And then He will give you all that you need. And I think that's a very important Bible verse that I'm going to focus on for this year. Now with my budget goals, I'm just going to put that off to the side. With my budget goals, budgeting is very important, as I mentioned earlier. So maintain a bi-weekly budget, because that's important. Track my spending, budget bi-weekly, make sure my bills are paid, and make sure that I'm saving for retirement. So that's going to be an important thing to think about. Speaking of retirement, in Canada here, we have a TFSA, and we also have RRSPs. But I primarily am focusing on my TFSA. So in my retirement, I want to continue to save for the TFSA, any lawyer's fees, medical costs that might come up, and funeral expenses. So those are 4 things that I'm really starting to think about as I move into my retirement years. The next thing I wanted to think about is to continue to actively learn new financial skills through reading, online courses, webinars, YouTube, and other modes of information and resource gathering. I think that's going to be very important for 2025. Another financial goal that I have for 25 is to a goal of no spend days or months, and see how that goes throughout the year. And finally, also very important, is to give to charities. Giving to a charity is very important. It can be money, it can be clothing items, or it could even be pet supplies. It's important to give to charity because we are stewards of our money, and it's important to make wise decisions. And part of that is to also remember those of us that are a lot less fortunate. So charity is very important for me too. And those are my 2025 goals for this year. I want to thank you for sitting and taking the time to listen. And I have one final thought. A good place to start is to start with a calendar. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of the year, and I wish everyone a blessed, happy day. Thank you. Bye-bye.